right, let's get started. Welcome. I hope everyone's having a great Friday. Yay! We are joined here today with Socks. Here she is. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. So we're doing something a little bit different today. We are having a look at a particular Kanban board card. So if we go Kanban board information 2, I should be able to go for card. I think it's what is it? It's 5. Get branch 519. All right, I'm just going to do this so you guys can actually see it, and I'll zoom in. So the idea here is we want the ability to add linked objects to Kanban board. In this sort of case, we're creating a card. That's just the idea of it. Just a simple description: have the ability of the scheduler to link projects, tasks, and items to the current Kanban board after creation. So we're also adding in the ability for someone to create a card automatically on a board, because once we've done that, then we can do a flag and all that kind of fun stuff. So I am going to close that. We're gonna jump straight into localhost, which isn't on at the moment. I'll quickly turn that on. There we go. That'll take a couple of seconds to boot up. We'll get rid of that. I've just stashed my database changes and stuff like that at the moment. We can go back and do the shakeout testing a little bit later. But all right, cool. Sucks your tail. It's in the way. So going in here, whoops, sorry. There we go. We'll just log in as dark admin. We don't need to really do much. So going into scheduled object, going into new schedule, we now have the ability to do Kanban card. So what we want to do, Kanban card, we've got the card title here. So Kanban card title, the Kanban card description. We can search which Kanban board we want to put it on. So we're going to put it on this one, and we are going to, let's say it's going to go into backlog, and it's going to go part of sprint 1, easy done. So I was able to do this yesterday very quickly. We roughly tested this out. So I'm pretty happy with this, but at the moment when we hit submit, we actually get an error. So if I hit submit, we get that little red modal at the bottom, which I'm currently covering up. So I am going to move that to the left. We are going to go into the network. So we've got a 500 error. That's the issue we are currently seeing. So if we go into the response, it says none type has object organization IDs. So Kanban boards and Kanban cards aren't connected to an organization directly. So we are going to go in and make sure we update the code to exclude that one particular field. Sorry, got something in my eye. So this is part of the backend, so we want to go into NearBeach. We want to then go, I forgot where this is going. This is going into new scheduled object save. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm just going to go over here and do something like that. We're going to find the URL. Not exactly what I wanted. Sorry, I had a file mask on then. We're going to go over here, and we are going to go directly to that implementation. So we've got the front end, and we've got the back end already open in that time. And ooh, we are on an ad break. So going over here, hopefully everyone's going well. We are joined once again by Socks. She's quite happy there, doing her thing. So yeah. All right, how's everyone's week going? How did everyone's week go? Now that it's at the end of the week and the weekend is here, hopefully everyone's happy. So yeah, I've also got to get myself a bit of a stabilizer for the camera. It does wobble a little bit, so yeah. Hopefully, don't you dare knock that off. She's like, what? Trying to cause trouble sucks. She's like, yeah, I like to cause trouble. And welcome back, everyone. So let's jump right back into it. So it's sitting in here. So this organization is doing its thing. It's just that this one line here doesn't work. Now, I'm going to put a breakpoint there. What I'm going to do, right hand click, I'm just going to resend this. It's going to hit that particular breakpoint. I'm going to step forward. So we've got a object type none. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over here. We're going to go Python 3 manage shell. I'm going to clear the screen so it's like that. We're going to go from NearBeach.models, import everything. All right, cool. So we've got all of our models. I'm just going to go a equals organization.objects.get, and let's go pk equals 1. So we've got organization like that. All right, cool. And then all we need to do is a.organization ID. Boom, we've got the ID. Everyone's happy. However, if we go b equals organization.objects.get, and let's say we've got pk equals 55. Usually that will come back with an error. All right, and we're like, all right, cool, there's an error. We've got to make sure that that object does exist. And we're like, all right, sweet. But instead, the forms handles this so it doesn't crash, and what actually happens is b equals none. So if we go b, that's got none. So if we go b.organization ID, it's like the none type object has no attribute organization ID. And if we actually have a look at the error code, none type object has organization ID. So this is the error that we're actually hitting. And what could we do? So in .NET, what I would do is do something like that. But Python doesn't actually have that. There is the get attribute. But first, let's do it with a positive. So that's a positive. That's just the equivalent of doing something like that. Now, what if we go B, it's like object has no attribute. Yeah. Now, if I were to do this, I would get the organization out, the ID out earlier. So I would do a variable called organization ID equals something like that, but I need to look up ternary operators for Python. Ternary. I can never say this. True. All right, cool. A if condition, else B. So X, all right. So X equals organization.organization ID if organization ID doesn't equal null, else none. And there we go. So what we would do down here, we'll just get rid of this, and we just have organization ID. Done. That would be the way I would handle this. Now, that being said, we'll probably need this. Yeah, there's a couple of checks I need to actually do. So, another thing I've just figured out is I've got to probably do a check to make sure the organization actually exists. If it does not exist, then we don't do anything. And then we will have to probably alert the system administration, being like, hey, listen, you've got this particular subscribed object that is trying to access a organization that no longer exists and stuff like that. So yeah. All right. That is something I do need to check. All right. I'm just going to go into our prod Kanban board information 2. I'm actually going to create that ticket. So we're going to add this card in. We're going to have scheduler checks. Organization exists. This is just the highest one. These are just going to be checks. We can actually do this tonight. So issue, if there is a scheduled object and the user deletes, soft or hard, the organization, we don't want to create an object, but we want to inform the end user. All right. Now at the moment we haven't implemented any email ability. That is actually on the Kanban board cards to do. So we might actually build a check. Solution for the current moment, as we do not email clients because we have not set up the email scheduler. For the moment, as we do not email clients because we have not set up the email scheduler, we will implement a simple checker in the diagnostic board. This will loop through all current scheduled objects and return a list of anything problematic. Oh, I probably spelled problematic wrong. Oh, I didn't. Yeah. All right. So, sorry, Sox's head is in the way. I'm definitely going to put this in progress. We do, because we'll work on it tonight. This will be part of, now, do we have a scheduler thing in here? Automatic container, no. Schedule objects. All right, cool. So that has been added. I'm just going to move this up here. And we're going to go over here. So that should be fine there. I've just got to make sure we're not using organization anywhere else in this particular function. One way to do it is just click on it and actually go all the way down. Socks has moved, so we can move the webcam. No, she's come back. She's like, nah. I'm the more prettier one. I'm like, okay, Socks, you just hurt me. All right, so that should now work. Famous last words. We're gonna double check it. We're just gonna read the code first to make sure essentially it's going to pass all the way through. So we've got organization. We're all happy with that. That should be perfectly fine because that's getting the object template. So yeah, that saves the object template. I'm happy with that. The for group, that's just doing all the groups. We've got the scheduler frequency. That's perfectly fine. And then, oh yeah, that's doing number of repeats, and then it just says, all right, cool. Now, if I click on this again, I'm actually going to hit play. Yeah, I don't think that, I'm just going to go back here. I think because I paused and did some changes, it didn't actually say the first one, but it then sent something back, and yeah, we're just, organization query does not exist. Ooh. All right, we're going to redo that because that could have been a bug caused by me debugging. I'm going to move that off to the right where you're going to see what exactly I'm going to do. So we're going to go Kanban card. We're going to go Kanban card. We're just going to go yes. We're just going to go yes and yes. We're just going to go yes, yes, and yes. We're just going to go set day of the week. We're going to hit schedule that. I forgot to take off the breakpoint. I do apologize. We're going to hit play. Oh, all right. Organization matching query does not exist. All right. So this is actually another side effect of what we've actually been doing. So I now need to go to schedule object information. All right. Ooh. There we go. So we're in here. I believe it's failing here. One way to test, just hit a reload. We'll hit that little breakpoint. We're going to step forward. All right. No, I was wrong. All right, that's just checking all the values and stuff like that. We're not checking to see if it's deleted. Should always be doing that. I'm gonna hit play because we're interrupting everything. We know it's gonna pass that. We know it's gonna hit that. Object filter, schedule objects, object template ID. So that should be working perfectly fine. It's this line here. All right. So we hit that one line. Now, if we have a look at this particular data, I know this is going to be very tiny text for you guys, and I do apologize. So we open this up, object template results. We're going to get the first one. I don't think it actually has the results at the moment because this is lazy done. It's going to have a look at the object template and then have a look at the object organization. So I'm going to have to do a little check around this. Just seeing where we use this information. All right. So we're going to do a little trick that we did before. Now this object information get, that passes it into a query set. Okay, we might have problems with the front end, but that's not a problem. We'll get there and sort it out. So I want organization ID equals, And what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut that out. We're going to paste it there. Oops, we're going to cut that one out. And we're going to paste it there. And we're just going to write organization ID. And then... I'm going to leave it like that for a moment. Then we're going to do this. If organization ID is not none, else we're going to put 0. The reason for 0 is it will give us nothing. Piss off. Don't fill out stuff. And RW Grim, how are you? That was a mistimed piss off from my side of things. Terribly sorry. That was aimed at the IDE. As a sort of Python-based sort of stuff, tabs are very, very important. But what actually happens is when I do that, it starts at the very, very left, and whenever I hit tab, it wants to complete the line. And I hate hitting spacebar 4 times. So yes, how are you? I did see you. I would ask how your stream was, but I was there until about 10 minutes ago. So yeah. Well, actually no, I'm looking at the time now. Half an hour ago. So yeah. How's everyone going? I'm Robotic Head. I am working on an open source project management system called NearBeach. I will just hit refresh. I've got those bug points on. All right, I've broken a couple of things. Don't worry, we'll just jump onto the dashboard and break a couple more things. All right. There we go. So this is NearBeach. It's using Django for the back end and VueJS for the front end. What does it do? So essentially it can gather basic organization and customer details. You can from there gather user requirements, break them down into requirement items. From there you can sort of plan your own project management. So you got your Kanbans, you got your projects, you got your tasks, and when you're ready to deploy, you've got your requests for changes. So yeah, we landed on the Nick coloring. Ooh, nice. So yeah, it is coming along. It's pretty exciting. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's my little spiel. Today we are working on the object scheduler. So we've had a request come through being like, can we please, it's two-parter. We're giving users the ability to, yeah, she's real. Yeah, it's getting there and I'm getting to bed. Have a good one. Yes, anyway, sleep well. So yeah, and enjoy your Friday. It's gonna be my Saturday when it's your Friday, so you know. Yes, this is Socks, by the way. She is pretty much the boss of the stream. And if you've got enough channel points, you can actually give her treats. So yes, hence she stares at the camera constantly. I don't know if that's a learned behavior, like if she learnt it from me staring at the camera during COVID, or if she just likes staring at the camera. She also does like staring at the screen every now and then, especially if I play certain games. Diablo 4 she really loved. For some strange reason was up against the screen. I couldn't see my health bar because her head was in the way. So yeah. Alright, let's fix this issue. So at the moment the organization isn't there whatsoever. So what we're doing is we're setting it. Now if I'm assuming it's going to be none, what we want to do, this is just a ternary, however I pronounce that, sort of thing, being like, hey, if there's not none, then do that. Otherwise, we're going to give it 0. And thank you very much for the follow, Zephyr. Zeph Ida. Thank you very much. So yeah, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So this one, ooh, this is a get. I just realized that this might be a little bit more trickier than and thank you very much for the bit. So yeah, any money we actually get through the stream actually goes towards NearBeach itself. We're currently saving up for a UI UX developer, so fingers crossed. So yeah. All right, so we've got organization ID. I'm just thinking. We could just do a basic if statement, because this will fail, because it's a get. So the idea with Django ORM, you've got filters and you've got gets. Filters, even if there's one result in it, will always be a query set, whereas the get that object itself and fill it out with those particular values. Now, the one problem with the get is if that particular primary key does not exist in that get, it will fail. And the 0 will fail in this sort of case. So what I could potentially do is just do a quick if statement, break it out. If that organization ID exists, what we'll do, we'll get it, we'll fill it out, we'll all be happy. Otherwise, we will utilize an empty object. Now, this can be done in a ternary. However, that being said, it's going to be a very, very long ternary, and I don't know how, because I never looked this up, if I can split that across multiple lines. Ternary. I can't say it. Oh, that went back to my bad spelling. We don't want that. Click on that. There it did it again. It's like I'm clicking it there. All right, I'm just going to multiple lines. Alright, so you can always extend the logical line across multiple physical lines. Answer in brackets if, else, or. The bulb uses pep8 and everything indented. One more step called handling indent. You could also indent extra lines. Oof. Let's see if someone else has a... Oh God. Let's stay away from that. Guide to multi-line ternary operators in React. No, not React. Python, thank you very much. Otherwise, we can always fall back on an if-else statement, which I'm kind of falling on at the moment. Because, yeah, I don't mind these at all. They can be really, really good when, instead of breaking everything out into multiple different lines with an if-else statement, it's all in one line. For those that aren't used to them, they do take a little while getting used to. I know that took me a little while to get used to it. So, so yeah, you get everything down into one line. I tell you what, I'm gonna go with the if else in here. So first case, I'm going to do the cases where it's negative. So I'm going to go organization information equals organization, oops, can't spell, dot objects dot none. Don't know if I think I can do it like that. Let's actually test it out. So if I go C equals organization dot objects dot none. See, oh. Yeah, no, that's a query set. All right, I might actually have problems here then. Okay. So I'm just having a quick think. So one thing I could potentially do is I can set a value for this. If we don't have an organization, we don't do any of this serialization or anything like that, we actually just send back an empty string, which should be fine. Famous last words. The other thing we could potentially do now for 032, once again, we're moving to the API sort of method. So the idea is the user will load up this page, a little simple little loading setup will actually happen, and then it'll request this information in JSON format. And then from there, we can use just basic sort of JavaScript to be like, hey, is there an organization? Do I need to fill that out? Sweet, nothing there, cool, we'll move on. However, at the moment, because of how we set up NearBeach, it will render a page with that information on it, and VueJS picks it up and then runs with it. This is clearly not ideal at all, and I'm looking forward to moving everything to the API in 032, which we're getting closer to. So, the organization information, what we want is, I'm gonna put up here, organization results equals, and I'm just gonna do simple, basic, empty string. That's gonna work perfectly fine. Then we check for the ID. If organization ID is not none, then we do the organization stuff. So we get rid of that. We're going to move that in on the line. So we've got the organization information. What I want to do is I want to yank this out of here. I'm just going to cut it. We are going to put in organization results down here. Easy done. We're going to go up here. We're going to paste in what I don't know what happened then. And what we want to do is we want to go organization results equals this information here. So that in theory should work. And once we move to the API, this is also going to be a lot easier, because I'll have the power of the Django REST framework, which has serializers in it. So a lot of this, it will be trivial. All right, let's hit refresh. Let's, I'm gonna put the breakpoint there. We've hit the breakpoint. So organization results, nothing, sweet, we're fine with that. Organization ID, I'm double checking that, none. Right, so it should skip all this. I'm going to assume everything else works perfectly fine and hope for the best, and hit the play button. Oh, we've got can't access property fields. This dot organization. All right, so we fixed that particular issue. Now we have an issue with the front end. And once again, this is all going to be fixed up with the API. But yeah, we're
We've got to fix up all these little tiny, what I want to do is I want to get all these little tiny features out first before I absolutely change everything. Because I know it's probably going to take me 7 months or more to get out 032. It's going to be an absolute marathon because I'm essentially rebuilding quite a lot of it, probably redesigning the UX, UI, absolutely sitting down and being like, what are problems and how can I fix them? So, yeah. Yes, we're currently in ad break for anyone wanting to know. There's about 45 seconds left. I know not everyone gets ads, that's perfectly fine, don't worry about that. I only get a couple of cents per stream, so, well, NearBeach gets a couple of cents per stream, so, yeah. Yeah. Hopefully everyone's going well. It's the weekend for me. I know it'll be Friday for a lot of people, so, yeah. How's everyone's week going? Hopefully good. So, yeah. I do need to get a new webcam. I know it's very, very fuzzy and it's annoying the hell out of me, and I can tell that is that freaking fuzzy. Oop. Caught the pen. And I had no pen then when I moved that fast. Sweet. Shoulder's getting better every day. And welcome back, everyone. So, I'm going to show you guys the error. If we move this off to the left, the JavaScript expects something there, which is fine. What we're going to do is we're going to decouple that expectation and do a check and be like, hey, is there something there? Because there are some objects that don't need organization. And that's how we're going to fix it. So we are going to minimize this. We're going to open up NearBeach. We're going to go to the source JavaScript components. We're going to scroll down into object scheduler and we want the scheduled object. I'm just going to scroll all the way down to our props. So here's our props. So we've got the root URL static and user level. Oh, I don't actually have that there. Sorry, I've clicked on the wrong one. Sorry, it's meant to be scheduled object information. There we go. I am going to minimize that so everyone can see most of the code. We're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. What we're looking for are the props. So in here, we've got organization results. We are expecting an array. So yeah. Now, once again, with the move to 032, we'll be expecting a lot less. With this data, we'll be expecting something completely different, and yeah, we'll have to handle the permissions a little differently too, because they will be, yeah, we'll have to do that. Yeah, don't mind what I'm saying. I'm just ranting to myself. All right, so organization results, what we're going to do is we're going to go organization results. We're just going to find all of them. So stakeholder information. This is if something is in there. Oh, it's going down into stakeholder information. All right, this is not what we need anymore. So vbind, not vbind, sorry, vif, the object type model. Got two, sorry, that's meant to be lowercase, two lowercase. Does not equal Kanban card, I think. Now I should have, yeah, I'm running that. All right, let's have a look. We've hit the debug again. I'm just going to take that debug. I'm just going to hit play. We're going to minimize that again. We're going to go over here and we have, oh yeah, two lowercase is not a function. Oh yeah. Hang on. Var a equals hello world a dot to lowercase. That says it is a function, or is it?
says it's a function, and then, yeah, 2 lowercase. I think I had this problem the other day. I think it doesn't like that. Oh, it's an integer, that's why. All right, cool. Sorry, I forgot that is an integer, and we'll probably have to turn that into something that makes a little bit more sense. The number 2 doesn't mean much to anyone, especially anyone looking at the code. Yeah, the idea here is the 2 stands for Kanban card. If I go over here, I'm going to hit refresh. Yep, all right, sweet. So we're going to move that to the right. So as you see, this object type is up here. We've set it as the Kanban card. And then we've got to do a couple of other things. So we've got to fill out this and this. Oops. I'm just realizing I could probably can view extend components. Extend some component, set up component. Okay. So I'm just getting ideas in my head for the future. So some of these components, like this one, are very similar. So you'll have like a new scheduled object, and then you'll have scheduled object information, and they look very, very similar. And I'm just like, well, if they are similar enough, can I actually just have a generic one which does all the templates and stuff like that, and then extend it and just override the methods? So a good example would be a schedule object information component, and then I'll have one for new that will point at the that will override the save and have it as a submit instead to create a new one and then refresh the page and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah. But this does have is active in there and stuff like it does have a few differences. So if we go into scheduled object, for example, go down and hit schedule, a lot of this is very similar. The top is different. No, the top is the same. We've got the object type. And yeah, we just don't have the is active down at the bottom. So yeah, I'm just trying to think. This is a future thing. If I want to go in and change that. Potentially, yes. Mainly because I have quite a number of components where I'm like, these could potentially be expanded upon. All right. It's a research task. All right. So going in here, what will happen is we need to actually change this object type. So that's going to be the very first thing that we're going to do. I'm going to also go into here. I'm streaming. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to copy these 4 lines. I'm actually going to copy 5 because I want the space after it. I'm just going to go down here. We're just going to paste that in. There's get Kanban settings. We'll need the update Kanban settings and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, once again, this is why I had that thought. I was like, hang on a minute. This is something that I should actually implement. I should... Oh, I'm just gonna go scrolling down. All right, so...
belong after here. There it is. We're all happy with that. We're going to go up to the date data. Up in the data, what we want to do is we want to add in another one of these. We want to do value 2, and we want to go label is Kanban cards. Easy done. That's all we need. I am gonna double check. So we've done the object type, so that will fix the object type up there. We'll have these appearing now in here. It should fetch the information we require. However, that being said, we haven't set the default information. So what I want to do is, sorry, I'm just scrolling up and down as my brain is trying to figure out what I want to do. I need the Kanban card results. And I am going to move this off to the left. We are going to go into the view and we're going to hit refresh. We're going to click on the scheduled information. We're going to see what information gets sent down. So we've got the group results, we've got the object template, we've got the scheduled results. We've got the object template results, so we're going to open this up. We've got an object in here. We've got the object once again. In here, we've got the basic sort of object stuff. Now, we've got object organization. However, we don't have the object Kanban board stuff, which means fix all of that too, which means I'm going to have to what am I thinking of? I'm going to have to actually save it first. Okay, no problem. So we're going to go into the back end, realizing that we've missed something important. What we're going to do is we're going to have not that yet. We're going to scroll down here. What else are we extracting out of the data? Let's save the data first. That way I'll have the structure. So in here, we've got all the data where we're just not saving it in here. And what I would want to do is I want to deal with the IDs and so forth like that. So okay. So I'm going to check to make sure we are getting Kanban information first. We're going to set it, and we've got to deal with the null cases. All right, so I want to do Kanban board ID equals 0 by default, Kanban column ID equals, actually it's going to be none. And then Kanban level ID equals none. We're happy with all of that. And then just going to do that. So we're just going to create a dictionary. And then down here, Kanban board structure. Yeah, all right. I think that's as good a name as any at the moment. So what I want to do is then I want to go if, Kanban board results equals form dot clean structure, and then Kanban board. I do believe that's what we're sending back. I should test that first. So I'm just going to refresh until this reloads. What we want to do, object type Kanban card. I've got the Kanban card. I don't know why I got board stuck in my head, but we'll fix this up in a second. We've got the Kanban card title, Kanban card description. The Kanban board, yep, we're going to pick one of those, and we're just going to, do one of those. We're just going to click that. We're going to click on the network tab. We're going to move it to the left. We're just going to delete everything, and I'm going to use persistent logs because this is going to get deleted. It's done. I'm just pasting it. All right, it didn't save what I wanted. I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to recreate this very, very quickly. No problem. I'm going to delete all of that. It doesn't matter how we actually do this very, very quickly. I'm just going to click Sunday again, create new. I'm in the wrong spot. All right, here it is. Sorry, wrong spot completely. So we're coming through, we've got object description, all that kind of fun stuff. We've set that all up how we want it to. I'm going to end up doing something like this. So we've got set up organization, get organization ID. And then we'll get Kanban card structure or setup. So Kanban card setup, that we're just going to equal just something like that. I'm going to put a little breakpoint here because we want to look at the form data. He's done. We're just going to go back to that. We're going to scroll all the way down. We're going to go new scheduled object. I'm just going to quickly do this very, very quickly. I just don't want to spend too much time on this at all because I just want that breakpoint hit. There we go, breakpoint hit. So I can now look at the form data that we're actually sending. If I open this up and we go down, you'll see we've got a data tab. I can open that up and I can see all of its data that we are sending back. So we've got the Kanban. We might not be sending this data back. So we've got the object title, type is 2, we've got the descriptions, all that kind of stuff. We don't actually have any of the Kanban card levels or anything like that. I need to actually fix that right now. So I'm just going to hit play. We're going to jump into the new scheduled object view. We're going to fix that up very, very quickly. So when we submit it, we're also going to submit information with it. Okay, that's all fine. Okay, what I want to do, data to send.set. What we got is Kanban board ID. I'm just going to leave it as Kanban board. We're going to copy that across here. And then we're going to go column and level. So that should be that. I should be happy with that. So it should hit the back end now. We need to now edit the form. So we're going to go back over here. We're going to right hand click on this. We're just going to go to that implementation here. So we've got a bunch of stuff in here like object types and so forth like that. What we're going to do is this is all in alphabetical order. So we're going to go Kanban board equals forms dot choice field, where the query. Sorry, actually no. This is going to be a model choice field. Sorry. Where the required. Let's go choices. Is something like that. Required is not going to be true. It's going to be false, because if someone's not actually adding in a Kanban board, they'll add, let's say, a task or something like that, they won't need this information sent to the back end. So we've got the Kanban board. We're going to have the Kanban level. Actually called alphabetical order. It makes it easier for me to find stuff. Model choice field. We've got the choices. Kanban column is deleted equals false. Create any games in JavaScript? I have not created any games in JavaScript. Cat back to. How are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Required equals false, and then we've got Kanban level, which should equal forms dot model choice fields. Once again, we're going to go choices. The level field deleted is that. Oops, we want to do that. Oops, I keep mishitting stuff. And there we go. So we've now got our three different fields that we well, in this sort of case, we will need to be required. So if the object type does not equal to and not organization, and then we have to do something with the organization and stuff like that. In this sort of case, I'm going to flip it. So I'm going to go if object type equals to all right. Actually, I should need to comment these out. If object is project/task, the organization needs to be completed. So that's pretty much it. What did I just hit? If the object is project task, then the organization is required. All right, cool. I don't know what I hit then to delete how much data that was. So the next thing is if object is Kanban card, then the required fields need then the Kanban fields are required. So what we're going to do is if object type equals to and not Kanban board, and then we'll we're going to do something in there too. So we'll go Kanban board equals clean data Kanban board, Kanban column equals that, and then Kanban level equals that. So we're going to do all three. They're going to have each different errors. We're going to probably do something like this, and actually add error. This is Kanban board. Kanban board is required. Easy done. If object type equals 2, all right, we're seeing an issue straight away. Now, that's a lot of if statements. I'm just wondering if there is a better way of doing that, but at the moment, I'm just having a quick look. There might be a better way of doing that, but I'm not overly fussed. Okay, cool. So that should be the form. We should go back in here. This should all complete. We should get the Kanban card set up. We're only filling this out if the type is of a certain type. So what I want to do is I'm just going to go get object type. So we're going to go object type equals, we're just going to, oh, how? That was not what I actually copied. That's what I copied. Control Shift V. All right, object type. So that's going to be integer. God, I'm getting sick of their Vim bindings. All right, so got Kanban card set up. If object type equals 2 Kanban card, what we need to do is the Kanban card, we'll need to actually get that data first. So we'll have the Kanban board equals forms clean data that, Kanban column, that, Kanban level will equal that, and then I'll just need to go Kanban card setup equals, and then we'll have the Kanban board, Kanban board ID, and then it'll be the column, and then the level. Now that's not going to work because that's meant to be column ID. And then in here, that will just fill it out. It'll be at the start because I like things in alphabetical order. So that will be the Kanban card setup. And then that's just going to be the Kanban card setup like that. And that should work perfectly fine. And then we just need to check to make sure that that particular bit of data is filled out. So that should all work with the template. Famous last words, of course. Let's then pull that information. So schedule object information, that just pulls everything out. We've got all the templates and stuff like that. That just flat packs everything. Oh, and we've hit another ad break. For those on YouTube, yeah, we're run ads every half an hour on Twitch. Just stop the pre-rolled ads. We do this so no one misses out on any content. I'm realizing just how blurry my camera is. Oh, Getting even blurrier now. Oh, looks like my eyesight. No, my eyesight's not that bad. All right, hopefully that works. There we go. Yeah, we've got about a minute left of ads. So yeah, hopefully not too much longer. Okay. Isn't that right, Socks? She's like, what? Okay, 30 seconds now. All right. About 15. So I'm just having a think of how I'm going to tackle this problem. But yeah. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. So in here, we've got all the results up here. What I want to do is I want to go Kanban card setup equals JSON.dumps. No, not that. Because we want to get data from that particular object template results. Object alert, organization ID. Are we passing that? Oh, we're passing it down. All right, not a problem. I don't need to do anything. What we need to do is create a new Kanban card. Now this is having problems starting up again. I'm just going to hit stop and start because it'll tell me exactly where the issue is. From models, choices field, model filter is missing one. Query set. Kanban board. Yep. Sorry, that was my bad. Okay, cool. I'm just going to hit refresh. Going to hit reload. All right, I'm going to quickly create a new one. So we're going to go scheduled object. I'm going to remove all of that. I'm just going to go Kanban card. We're just going to blang. Let's pick that one. You're going to pick that one, and you're going to pick that one. Don't worry, I'm just picking things from the drop down, and I'm going to pick Sunday, and we're going to go create. So we've got a debug here. So with the Kanban card set up, we're going to go, yes, this should be if object type is a number 2. I've done something silly. We're just going to reset. All right, performing checks. All right, cool. We've just reset. I'm just going to hit that button again. We're here. We're moving forward. Cool. So we've got the Kanban board and all that kind of stuff. And then we set this up. So that should now state something very, very simple. Kanban board 1, column 2, level 2. Those will be the values that we get. I've also just realized that we need to actually get those values and pass down extra information. That being said, I can fetch that information post. Better than nothing. So I've just realized there's another issue that I haven't actually dealt with. In the future, this will all be in the API. It'll be handled so much better than this. I'm just going to hit play and hope for the best. Boom. All right. So I hope for the best. Now I'll move that to the right. Now the issue I was talking about is this is meant to be filled out. It looks like that is automatically filled out, and then, yeah, when that gets changed. All right.
let's deal with one problem at a time. So, object information. So we go in here. We just haven't set those particular values. I'm going to minimize that. So if we scroll all the way up here, we've got the get Kanban. Sorry about that. We've got the get Kanban settings. We've got the object type equals 2 on it'll update all of that. And if we go to this implementation, all of that is set up. All right, cool. So what I could potentially do is unmounted. We're committing some stuff and we're putting some stuff into other stuff. We could set those values up here. Now we don't actually have that information up here just yet. So we need Kanban board model. That's going to be like that. Actually, we're going to default these. Kanban column model, that's going to be like that, and then Kanban level model equals that. All right, now the next thing I need to do is, if these are undefined, that's going to be a problem. So if I go back into here, let's bump that off to the left. Let's go into the, let's go into this. We'll have in here the object template results. Once again, once this is all in the API, this is going to be so much better because we don't need to worry about all of these workarounds and stuff like that. And thank you very much, Tiberium V, for the follow. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So we've got the Kanban cards set up, and then we've got those particular values there. Now, if they're undefined, we should set them to, we should automatically set them to, what am I trying to think of? 0. 0. Oh, nothing. Empty. So, yeah. All right. But we'll test everything out first. So this will be this dot object template results. We're going to go with the 0. Yeah. Once we've got the API, it's just us filling this out in a particular way. And then that will be this dot object results dot 0, and then we'll have the Kanban card setup. I'm double checking those. Yep, Kanban card setup, and then Kanban board dot Kanban board. It's going to be the same here. So this dot objects template results 0 dot Kanban card setup dot Kanban column. Wrong thing. We want to go this dot object templates. We want a 0, and then we want the Kanban card setup, and then the Kanban level. And that should be it. So it sets it on the parent, and then the child gets that bit of information, and then whenever someone makes a change, it then tells the parent, hey, this is the new value. And that's how that cycle works. Now, I'm just going to refresh, hoping for the best. We don't have the best. This is horrible. Can't access Kanban board. Property Kanban board. This dot object template results Kanban card setup is undefined. All right, so I am going to go to view. I'm going to hit the scheduled objects. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that. Template JSON. Oh, there's a bunch more, isn't there? Oh, yeah, I'm forgetting one more level. The fuck? Sorry, I'm just, JetBrains has been acting weird tonight. All right, so just gotta wait a couple more seconds, gonna hit refresh, boom, we've got it.
here it is. So we've got the Kanban card, we've got those bits of detail filled out. We don't actually have this bit of detail filled out, which we kind of need to do. So, all right. So I'm just having a quick think. What I want to do is let's actually just have a look at the data first. All right, so moving that back to the left, we're hitting this particular thing. We're minimizing the props because we don't need it. So the Kanban board model, Kanban column model, and that level are all set. However, I think I know what's happening. So if we go back down here and we go get Kanban sort of stuff. So we've got the data. Oh, we don't have the props. Okay. All right, not a problem. We can actually set this up very, very quickly. All right. So I want to go to Kanban. I want to then click on the Get Kanban Settings. So here's this. So we got some local variables down here, but I need to probably import the parent stuff. Then we've got that cyclical thing, which will be fine. We end it there. That way it's not a read only. We're only passing in. All right. So I'm going to do some props. We're going to do it right here. So we're going to go props. That's just going to be a bunch of objects. And then what we're going to do is I'm just thinking of the variable names. We could potentially do something like import Kanban board ID and stuff like that. And La Mirarita de Twitch, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Are you already a startup founder with seed round? Sadly not. Sadly not. So yeah, how have you been? Have you been well? All right. Now, what I could potentially do is init Kanban board ID. That will be type of ID, number. Default is going to be none. It's not going to like that. I know it's going to complain about init Kanban column ID. It's definitely going to complain about that in a second. I know it. Everyone knows it. This is just terrible. I could do default as 0 and then I just don't know. I don't know if undefined will work in this sort of case. All right.
And then in here,
we only need to set it up once. And that's the thing. There's got to be a better way of doing this. The other way I could potentially do this is on boot, check to see if any of these are set out. If we're missing any of them, yeah, that could be a better solution. But here is where we initialize everything, because it's usually where we initialize everything. Init Kanban column ID equals undefined, and then we this keeps getting it wrong. The AI is just not there. Oh, hang on, I did level there. Oops. Actually, I stand corrected. Alright, so this dot Kanban, init. Alright, so if it's undefined, it'll be like, alright, cool, blank string it. There's no values, everyone's going to be happy. And then we just move on. But if something's set there, then we'll fill it out with a set. So, yeah. That should work. And then with the scheduled objects, we just need to scroll up to that Kanban board section. Right here, so we're going to do a bunch of v-binds. We've got unit Kanban board equals. We're going to do that. All right, like so. All right. I'm going to hit refresh. We're going to hit the consoles. We're going to make sure that there's no issues. We've also got property organization results was access during render but not defined on instance. I don't know where that is. So I'm just going to search for it very, very quickly. We are actually defining it in the props. That one's perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't know where that one is. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. So what I want to do here now is I want to hit refresh. Everything's working perfectly fine. I want to hit the view. We've got these filled out perfectly. All right. So the next thing for me to do is to actually get the Kanban board and the Kanban level. And I've just realized I've got Kanban board, should be Kanban column, Kanban level. I'm going to fix that up very, very quickly. So that's the get Kanban settings. We're just going to go all the way up to the top and I'm just going to type in Kanban board. There we go. This one will be Kanban column. And this one will be Kanban level. He's done. Very quick and easy fix. The next thing I got to do is close that tab because I hate it. Is in this, when we fetch the Kanban board options, we hit all of that, and then we go through all of this. If there exists data already, also get the properties. So if this dot init Kanban column, if the Kanban board ID is not undefined, what we want to do is this dot fetch Kanban property. So this will add in a little bit more time and so forth like that. Once again, when we move this to the API, we can get all this data sent to the front end in one fell swoop. So at the moment, we're kind of doing workarounds. I don't like these workarounds at all, but we're sort of wrapping up 0.31. I don't want to spend too much time implementing this if we're going to fix in the future. So yeah, that's all. And we'll probably move this into a wizard sort of structure too. So currently we'll have the Kanban cards. We'll probably be able to add in the links ability. So that then adds on something completely and utterly different, where we'll be able to link either a project, task, requirement item, or requirement onto a Kanban board. And that will be a utterly different functionality later. So we'll probably be moving into a wizard function for that. Very similar to how we've set it up for the RFC. So, going with this, we should also hit update. This ain't going to work at the moment. That's perfectly fine. I'm just going to hit refresh. Looks like we didn't get any data. Let me hit the network tab. Oh, I typed in the wrong thing. It's fetch Kanban properties. Alright, this is also, I'm just going off on a little rant at the moment. If I hit tab, what do people think I'm hitting? What do you think you're going to get out of this? Let me set that up again. Cool, I still got the screenshot. Yeah, there's been multiple times where I've gone to see something, little recommendations popped up, and I hit tab and something else pops up. It just feels like the tab that autocomplete and the options, they, in my head, conflict with each other. Because if I were to fill out the features here, I hit tab when there's just one result. So, for example, if I start doing that, all right, I'm going to hit tab to fill that out. So I'm so used to seeing the top option and then hitting tab. I really want to get rid of that code fill out stuff because it's absolutely driving me nuts at times. All right, I'm going to hit refresh. So init Kanban board ID doesn't equal default. I can't see it going for the Kanban board. I can see it going for the Kanban boards. Oh, it's going to clear the results too. Shoot. We don't want that. We just want... We only want it when we change the board. We just want the data. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a console log, got here. I'm going to go this.init Kanban board ID. We're just going to leave that in there like that. Now it's saying I'm having trouble on YouTube. It's not receiving enough video, which is weird. I'm getting no drop frames or anything like that. 30 frames per second. All right, we're going to rerun that. I'm going to hit the console. We don't actually... Do I have that in the wrong? Yeah, I've got that in the wrong spot. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Deleting those out of there. All right, sorry, that was meant to actually belong in there. Easy done. Got to wait a couple of seconds. I am going to let's rerun it like that. All right, we've got the got here 1. We should now have all of these details in here perfectly fine. So yeah. For those on YouTube, are you having any video issues? I'm hoping you're not. Yeah, YouTube's saying I have a video problem, but Twitch says I'm fine. So I don't know what's going on. All right, we're gonna get rid of that console log because, you know, we don't need it in the system. Well, what's happening here is, yeah, that should do all of that for us. And yeah, in the future, once again, we're going to get this all from the API and we'll have all the information we require, which is going to be great. So that way, when this page loads up, it hits the API, checks to make sure you got permission, otherwise it'll send you a 404, in which case I should figure out how to handle all those and stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, so cool. Did you want to get up? Alright, come on. Yes, come on. Say hi to everyone. There you go. Alright, so we now need to fix the update. If I move that to the left, I go into the network tab. We just move this down. I scroll all the way down to the bottom. I hit this one. I then take off the persistent logs because we don't need it. I'm actually going to delete all of that and hit update again because that way we've only got one response. So it's sending. Yeah, all right. That's 2 ways. All right, I'm not worried about that. Organization matching query does not exist. Yay! So we know how this is fixed and so forth like that. Yeah, we can get this done very, very quickly. So just don't you dare sit on my mouse. Thank you very much. So in the back office, sorry, not back office. I've been using Umbraco all day. In the back end. Oh, we just hit an ad break. All right, cool. So we're gonna do this for a little bit. Hopefully everyone's going well. Hopefully, yeah, the stream isn't funky. For those on YouTube wondering what's happening, we run ads on Twitch every half an hour to stop the pre-rolled ads. You don't get ads, don't worry about it. And those on Twitch who do get ads, don't worry, and aren't seeing any ads, don't worry about it. It's sent to me. Yeah, we just do this so no one misses out on any content. So yeah. Stream health 8:14. It's come up again with errors. Saying my stream status is poor. Oh, I'm getting really sick of this. So I've just got to figure this one out. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to punch the microphone. Yeah, why? Why have you just started at stream is healthy, 8 o'clock? Alright, the warning the stream rate data or anything like that. Welcome back everyone. Alright, sorry, I'm just trying to also figure out why YouTube is having massive sort of problems. Yeah, it shouldn't be. So yeah, considering I've got decent internet now, should have 50 up. I should also be consuming most of the bandwidth. So yeah. All right, we'll monitor what's happening with YouTube. If anyone's on YouTube and you're seeing problems, please tell me. It does help. All right, we'll get back into it. All right. So we're going to go into scheduled object, save. And the Bob I know, how are you going? Yeah, I'm going well. It's Friday for me, which is good. We're finishing up this one little feature request. So yeah, yeah. You're about to leave the office. Nice. This is my office now. So yeah. All right, we've got the scheduled information. Now the one next to the one below it is scheduled information save. You got the form scheduled object and so forth like that. So you got all of this happening. It's this information one that is breaking. So essentially, it's the lines of code that we did before. So we want to have that. So we're gonna, you know what, I'm just gonna use bin bindings like that. So, oh my God, piss off. Sorry, that's actually at the editor itself. I'm not hitting F1. I'm hitting escape. I'm going at it from over here. All right, so we've got the organization ID, and then what we want to do is if, actually, no, we want, how did we do this? Oh, I did something, and organization information equals, I'm just gonna have a look. So we want new schedule, it's up here, new scheduled object, da-da-da. All right, cool. Is that all we're getting? Oh, I forgot to record the line I was on. Oh, and don't forget to drop everyone on Twitch, _ dropped, followed by your favorite emoji. We've got to beat Nightbot. I'm going to do, you know what? I'm going to do the beach houses. YouTube is currently receiving data for the stream. If you believe that's incorrect, please. All right, cool. Oh, and then it went back down to error. All right. Oh. Alright, so we've got the save. So we've got the organization information. Why are we doing all of that? Why can't I just... Hang on a minute. Am I going swings and a roundabout? Am I using organization information anywhere else? No. Updated object template. That. Am I just wanting an ID out of all of that? Hang on, am I actually checking to make sure that the ID matches an organization? But I should be doing that on the form, right? Once again, I can't wait till I move this to the API because it gives me so much more flexibility than this. It's going to be so much easier. It's something I don't want to implement right at this very second, just because it's going to be too much of a pain. I just want to get this feature out. All right, so in the past, what I've done is I've got the organization information and then I've got the organization ID from that when I've already got the organization ID. So why aren't I using that organization ID? Update object template equals that dot object template. That's just a JSON field. We're all happy with all of that. I think I've over-engineered this when in reality it should be something like this. We don't need any of that. And I think if I scroll all the way up to the top, that's getting it from the form. Okay, so that's a bit different. That one's fine. But yeah, down here, we've got the save, we go through the form, we get our data, and then from there we can get the ID if it exists or if it doesn't. What we also need to do is the Kanban card stuff, which is essentially the code which we've got up here. So with the new, what we want to do is we want to set up something like this. If I'm just wondering what we're doing here. All right. So if it's an object type, we do want to actually do that. Otherwise, yeah, we will delete some data, but that's perfectly fine. We're going to paste that in, and what we're going to have down here is we're going to have Kanban card setup, and it's going to be the Kanban card setup. Now the object type we don't actually have. But if I go back to the scheduled object information and I scroll down to the save functionality of this, So in here, we've got all of this. We're sending all of that. We don't actually have the Kanban information in here that we need to actually send. We've got the object type. So this should be going off. Should be object type equals form.clear that there. Should be that. And then we do all of that. And then we start updating stuff. And I'm just realizing that, yeah, we'll just update it like that. That's fine. All right. I'm just going to hit refresh. I'm just going to hit the save button. I'm going to delete all that first. I'm going to hit save. So it worked. If I hit refresh, we should see the Kanban as the admin only, still blocked and on sprint 2. No. Oh, I didn't send any of the information back. All right, cool. So there's other things I've got to do in here. Now, with validation, I'm going to copy, once again, this is where I really want to sort of create something that extends an existing component. So let's go to the validators. That's the wrong one. Scheduled validators and stuff like that. We're going to right hand click. We're going to paste all of those. I'm going to get rid of that. We are going to go like that. And then that will work. We do need the same as, so we need to actually import that right now. So I'll scroll all the way up to here. Required should be around here somewhere. There it is. It's the same as, easy done. Let's fix that up. So that's all the fine and dandy. Oh, do we have display group permissions? Yes, we do. Do we still have is form valid? Yes, we do. Next step would be to send that data to the back end. So going down here, what we want is we're just going to yank these 3 lines. We're going to also set it at the same point. Once again, all of this we could just extend this. The only difference is endpoints and redirections and stuff like that when you create something. So update schedule object. We're going to go down here. We're going to do all of this. We can paste this in here. I'm just going to leave it there. That's perfectly fine. We've got the Kanban board, Kanban level, and so forth like that. We are going to wait a couple of seconds and hit reload. Now I'm going to put in another Kanban board and all that kind of stuff, and I'm just going to update stuff. Cool. Nothing broke. Moving everything off to the right. So the idea being is we'll still see admin blocked and sprint 2. It failed. Can't access property, $errors, setup, object group model is undefined. All right, not a problem. I know exactly where that is. And if we go back up to our validators, object group model, we don't actually have a group model. Or do we? We'll delete it for the moment. I'm just going to undo that one. We do have group model defined. Thank you very much. I'm also gonna scroll down. So, can't access property setup.vip. All right.
So update scheduler object. Wait for that. Is form corrected? I'm
Getting rid of all of that. For starters, object group model is undefined. Object information. All right. Tell you what. We're going back to here. So we've got the group list. So in here, we've got these particular objects. We don't need the, all right, no, all right. So what I've done is I've copied all the validations and so forth like that, where I only just needed to copy this here. So this is just yanking those 9 lines, easy done. We go back down here, we're just gonna put those in like that. So we don't have any of that. So we get rid of that. Get rid of that, and I'll fix this up very, very quickly. Hang on a minute. What the? I pasted them in the wrong spot. I keep making mistakes. All right, there it is. So we've got the Kanban board model, we've got the level and the column level, we've got the object description, we've got the object group model, we've got the title model and the object type model. We no longer have to worry about the dynamicness of this. We don't need to worry about the stakeholder model or anything like that, because in here, we don't have stakeholders. And you're probably asking what a stakeholder is. It's with the organization. So once it's actually set, so if we go into one of these, ooh, we're broken stuff again. All right, not a problem. We'll find one of the newer ones. Once we go into here, the stakeholders themselves will disappear because that is solidified information. This one's hiding on here because we don't have it for the Kanban cards. Yeah, that's why. So as easy as that. I'm going to put these back in. All right, we've got another problem in here. Invalid prop, type check failed for prop. Expected number with value 0, but got string with value Oh, these are coming down as strings. Oh, all right. Now I get that. I'm going to update that. That has been successfully updated. We've got a problem up here where what I've got to do with the data, so these have got to be parsed. Once again, this will be great once we move this all to the API, because that way it's all JSON sort of stuff and I don't need to worry about it. We'll also be using hopefully TypeScript. All right, so I'm passing those through. If there is nothing, it'll be undefined. In fact, give me a couple of seconds. I am just going to go over here, var a equals undefined. Easy done. So when you click on a, it's undefined. What happens if you go pass int? It's not a number. That is actually a problem now. This is the joys of JavaScript. Okay. I just want to see something. B equals a 0. I have another idea. Oops. I'm going to get rid of these pass ins. I'm going to handle this in a particular way. So in Django, the ints for, let's say you've got a project table and you've got a PK and stuff like that, start at 1. So I've been using 0 as a sort of, that doesn't exist. And Nocturnal, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Happy Friday. So I'm just going to do that. If it's undefined, we're going to state, slap it as a 0. Then what I can do is with this will handle this fine. If it's a 0, it'll be like, all right, cool. Now here, if it is going to be a 0, do it as empty. Oops. Yeah, I think that's just going to work. You're okay, busy at work, fair enough. Just had a cold freeze. How are you? We had an okay day today. But for the last week, I've been complaining about the cold here. So I'm not complaining about the decent weather today. So yeah, I actually got outside, went through one of my potato bags, pulled out 2 potatoes out of the whole thing. Yeah, just luck of the draw. I think it was bad soil. I think the conditions of the soil were not crash hot. I've got the soil spread out on a tarp at the moment. What I'm going to do is I will give it some more manure, maybe a bit of compost in there, mix it all in, wait for it to dry up a little bit more, and then relayer it in with that soil, hay, potato, more soil, hay, more soil, and so forth like that, and hope for the best. So yeah, but yes, I got outside today, which was nice. All right, I'm going to hit refresh on this page. It's going to type error, can't access property, Kanban board, object is undefined. Yeah, that's put, I want that. Kanban cards setup is undefined. Oh, we're not getting that. Oh. now I've got to write checkers around. All right, hang on. I think I know what's happened here. But we'll come back to that. I'm going to refresh this one page. Sorry, could not fetch the Kanban properties. Axios request failed with status code 404. That makes sense. I forgot to actually escape out of that 0 in here. So what we want to do is we want to scroll all the way down to where we get the data. Sorry, it's wrong tab. We want to... Here we go. So instead of it being undefined, we want it bigger than 0. He's done. So 0 will be the default. Nice. It's raining here and getting cold. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm sick of the cold. I'm really sick of the cold. Last night I was just like, after work I was like, I am freezing. I am just sick of this. I'm just over this. When's the warm weather? Yep. Expected a number, but got, all right. So I know why I'm getting those warnings. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to update this. Once again, once we move to this all to the API, this is going to be wonders. Now that's failing. All right, not a problem. So when we send data upstream, I'm going to make sure it is passed as an int. Yep. All right. So let's see if that works to get rid of that warning. Then we'll handle the... All right, so that's gotten rid of the warning. Sorry, you guys can't see the warning. But yeah, we're now just dealing with ints now. So the thing is, when we do these particular values, they spit out it as a string. We'll pass it back into an int and send it through, but it also accepts it as a what am I trying to think of? As a integer or a string. Okay, so the next thing to do is to get this filled out, and let's actually have a look at the data. So I'm bumping this off to the left. I am going into the view. I'm clicking on this, and then we've got object template results. We're going to open this up. We've got the object itself. We've got the Kanban card set up. It's an empty object, so we're not actually filling it out correctly. So what I'm going to do is on the back end, I'm going to click on this. We are going to click on this here. We are going to go update schedule. We've hit that breakpoint. I'm just going to skip forward. Ooh. All right, that object type is a string there. I'm gonna say, let's make it an int. I'm gonna hit play. We're gonna skip all the way back to the front end. The front end's like, yeah, that was all fine and dandy. Let's just wait. I'm gonna hit refresh to refresh all the data. I need to, now this should fail. Yep, it fails. It tells me which fields I need to fill out. Sweet. So if that ever happens to someone, we can do that. I'm gonna hit save. We're back here. We're gonna move forward. Oh. Firefox, come on. Click that. Nowhere near that. All right, so in here, we've got key error, Kanban board.
clean data Kanban board. Let's actually have a look at the data itself. Object titles. Do we have Kanban board in here? No, we don't. We need to actually move that information into there. Not a problem. Let's do that right now. Oh God, I can't wait till I move this to the API. This is going to be so much easier. So in the form, we want to go. This is part of the scheduled object form. We just want to go to that implementation. Down here. Oh, we've got to do all the clean stuff too. Yeah. Oh, we're on an ad break. Oh, terribly sorry, everyone. There we go. Anyway, terribly sorry about that. Just spotted the ad. Yeah. Now, YouTube, you're saying my stream is back to excellent. That is good to hear, but really annoying that I have had that problem for 10 minutes. Okay, cool. I wonder if I could get... Yeah, I'll have to analyze the video after this. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. So I got... I'm getting distracted like there's no tomorrow. So, yeah. What we've got to do is we've got to implement what we did before. Yeah. When we move to the API, we're going to get rid of a lot of these forms because we'll be using the serializers. And in the serializers, we have the ability to enable, make certain fields required if it's in post and so forth like that. So, yeah. Or in some cases, let's say it's a post, it will then add on a particular field so people can, add in extra data and yeah. Now, what I want to do is I want to search for new scheduled objects. So I just want to pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is 18. And we're going to put this in alphabetical order. There we go. We've now got to do the clean data. Oh, I am using it in a couple of other places. I'm just going to copy all of this and cheat. All right, cool. We're going to scroll all the way to the end. We're just going to paste that in like that. Now, one thing that we don't need is, still need the object type. We won't need the organization. And that's it, it's just checking all the organizations, stuff like that. Remember, once again, when we're using the API, it will handle that a little bit differently. Be a lot better. We'll get it. Yeah. All right, so I'm happy with that. What I want to do is I want to hit reload. I'm going to reset those values. I'm going to remove that and we're going to hit update. So we've got a 400 at the moment. And the 400 is Kanban board, Kanban column, and Kanban level are missing. In here, we should see object. We don't actually see it. All right, where did I put it then? Did I just put something random in some random spot? Possibly, very, very possibly. Oh. All right, new scheduler, let's have a look. Yeah, I would have copied these 3 lines. And I undid it. No, I remember now, I undid it because I was trying to find another problem. Okay, we just want to put them there. And then I just want to wait a little while. I'm going to hit refresh. I'm going to delete everything. We're going to do this. We're going to scroll down. We're going to hit that. We're hitting the post. All right, so we're down here. Now our object type equals 2. That should work perfectly fine. Ah, great.
Perfect. I'm just going to hit play. I'm going to hope for the best. All right. I'm hoping. I'm going to hit refresh. Yes. All right, cool. So it is updating those particular values. Now, the one problem is with older sort of schedules and stuff like that, we don't have the Kanban information in there whatsoever. So we need to actually apply some checking and set that up properly. That's why this is failing. So if we refresh, it's like, hang on a minute, you're trying to get all this data, we can't get undefined of undefined. So we need to go into the information up here. We need to scroll all the way up to where we're setting all of this. And I don't know if this works in JavaScript. So we're going to test it first. I'm just going to delete this. What we're going to do, var a equals undefined. Easy, done. And then what I want to do, a dot that, and then dot object task undefined. Perfect. All right, so it doesn't have a problem. If I got rid of that, that it will come up with an error, and we don't want that. So I am going to put a question mark here, a question mark here, and a question mark here, and that just tells the system, hey, double check these before we actually process this. Once again, when we move to the API, these will be probably blanked out with zeros. So the API will handle all of that work up at the back end. It'll be like, all right, cool. Do we actually have this data? We don't. Sweet. We're just going to insert our own. That will stop critical issues like this. So, can't access property, Kanban board, all right, cool. Did I do something wrong? I put it at the wrong level. So we know that will exist. We don't know if this exists. Okay, I've just got to wait for this to compile. Easy, done. I'm just going to hit refresh. Boom. So this is showing the Kanban board stuff in here. We don't want that. This is actually... oh no, this is actually something else. Don't worry. I'm going to go back to scheduled objects. I'm just going to go over here. These tasks should work perfectly fine. We're going to run a couple of tests. And then we're going to handle the actual creation of these objects when we get to it. Yeah, pretty easy, fun stuff. So let's go into scheduled objects. We know that these should all load up perfectly fine. Type task is wrong in here because it's a Kanban card. That is a bug. I do want to fix that first. Because are they all tasks? No. So I'm going to bump that off to the left. I am going to go into the view. I'm going to go with the scheduled objects. Now, is this actually done in post? So I'm going to delete all that. We're going to hit reload. So we've got the scheduled objects. Easy, done. That's not a problem. But we do have the search scheduled objects. All right, and they're coming back wrong. Object type 2. All right, no, they're coming back right. Okay, so scheduled objects. Let's search for them. Just like we don't need to, we know exactly where they are. Scheduled object, here they are. So in here, we've got data, we've got this, we've got that. All right, cool. I'm gonna scroll all the way up to the top. So we've got the search field, we've got all of that loading data. That's perfectly fine, I'm happy with that. We've got that, easy, done. Got all that, scheduled object, yep. That's all the new scheduled stuff. I'm just after the... So we've got the link. I'm just going to... I didn't want to do that. So we've got the link. So object card detail link. Object card detail link, type, get type. Go to implementation, if type, return project. All right, cool. So I want to change this. And once again, when we move to the API will be able to spit this information out. So we're just rendering it on the front end. It's going to be so much easier. Less work done too. All right, and that will be Kanban card. All right, I am just going to bump that off to the right. We're going to hit refresh, and we should see. Famous last words. We should. Wait, what? All right. It should be as simple as that. We've got task, that's compiled. Cache has hit me there. All right, easy done. So we got the Kanban card. We're all happy with that. As you see, everything's looking really, really nice. All of this stuff is loading up. Cool. So let's actually create a, let's go project, let's scroll down here, let's go, all right, cool, it's NearBeach Incorporated, let's do Sunday, let's just do that. This loads up perfectly fine, project, everything's happy. We can change it to a Kanban card by just doing that, and then we can do something like that, and then we just go update schedule. If we hit refresh, oh, that didn't work. Because I've got a breakpoint. All right, so that didn't work because I had a breakpoint in there. It's all done now. If I go refresh, we should see, yep, that's all that. And then I can be like, oops, no, that's meant to be a project. We get that information all back and go update scheduled object, and we're all happy and dandy. All right, now the next thing I want to do is, let's do it as, we need pagination in there, but for the moment that should be fine. Kanban card. This will be quite literally admin, blocked, sprint 1. Cool, done. Easy. So I'm happy with that. Now we've just got to do the, handle the creation of those particular things. So I'm just going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up this. We're going to go NearBeach. We are going to go down here and we're going to hit file management commands. We've got documentation cleanup, initialize, run schedule it, that's it. So we've got a handle, it runs all of this, where we get the data and we go through and we're like, all right, cool, run this stuff. So we've got the create object to print off a log when it creates, all right, I need to do that. So we've got the template, object template, we've got the object string, we've got the start and end date and all that kind of fun stuff. Now, that being said, I've just realized also there is no start and end date for Kanban cards. So if I go Kanban cards, oh, it isn't there. Oh no, it is there between dates. Damn it. All right. That's something that probably needs to be fixed. Not a problem. Okay. Ooh. Oh, sorry about that. So this will get all of that. So those 3 fields are not required. But we'll need the Kanban ID and all that kind of stuff. Alright, this is getting a bit complicated. That's fine for the moment. Now, oops. We haven't moved 0.31 to stating that we no longer support Python 3.9. Which Python 3.9 is older, isn't it? Wiki Python history. Scroll all the way down. End security fixes. Oh, all right. I don't know if that means it's ended now or soon. The reason being why I'm saying this is because I've got to draw a line in the sand being like, all right, cool. I no longer want to use if-else statements. I want to use the switch case statements instead. And the line in the sand is 3.9. So at the moment, I'll use if-else statements. It'll just be easier. All right, cool. So in here, what we want to do is, so the status, we've got the organization instance, we've got the start date and stuff like that. We've got the template start date, we've got the template, object template, all right, the object dictionary would be that. So, and then what I'm going to do split here for Kanban cards versus other base objects. So what I'm going to do is def create base object, and what we need to pass through is probably the scheduled object, because because I feel like we're going to be using that again. I don't think we're using args and quargs, but I'll leave them in for the moment. But also object string and object dictionary, and then args and quargs, and then it's quite literally the rest of this. Now it wants template.
Oh, we can pass through template. So that's the object template. Oh, it is used in here. All right, not a problem.
We can pass it through. This will be a static method because we don't need the to use self in there whatsoever. And then up here, what we want to do is use create and then card object for any Kanban cards. Now, that being said, we probably don't need object dictionary passing through. The reason being is we can probably delete it from here and we can paste it into here, set object dict, like so, easy done, and then that will be used in there like so. Not a problem. Alright, so in here what I want to do is if object string equals Kanban card. Oh, I've got to check the type, don't I? Oh. Alright, we're going to have a look at the database. Oops, sorry, socks. Just rub up against your face and you're like, ah. We're just going to open up data grip. There's another update. So in here, and you're getting some treats, socks. Yes, you are. She's like, finally. It's like it's been days. All right. Let's get the camera. I need to. Oh, no. All right, let's go over here. There we go. Let's go into secret screen and let's give some treats to Socks. She's like, ooh. I'm struggling with opening up the treat. I'm glad the camera wasn't focusing on me then. All right, there you go, sweetie. Yeah, you'll get that many. And I'll throw one in the bed for you to find. Oh, you got it right away. All right. Okay. Here, give it. She's dropped it. No, sucks. No. Also, don't start dribbling on my. That's bad. Anyway, let's get back into it. All right, so if the object card string, I've got to double check that that's that. That's why I opened up Rider. I am going to open up a query console. We're just going to go select everything from NearBeach. This should be object template. Yeah, we'll just get everything. Oh, I don't like how Rider sets it up like this. So we've got object template JSON. I'm just going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. We're going to double. Oh, it doesn't let me open that as a JSON sort of thing. So we've got the type. Object template type is a 2 in here. Alright, so if we go over here, template, object template, JSON, object type. Object type. Oh. setting that up right. Oh no, there it is. It's just off to the side. I can't see it. That's not a problem. That is great. All right, sweet. I'm going to leave it like that. So we've got the object type. So that should be Kanban underscore card. Easy done. We're just going to just leave it like that. Then that will be to do add. Otherwise, it's going to be an else. And then it'll be... oh, this is where I need to actually stop making this a static method now. Not a problem. So create base object, schedule object, and then we'll have the object string and then the template. Because we can just pass through that information very, very quickly. Easy done. We'll just need to add this one in. I am going to scroll all the way down here. I'm just going to do it down here. At static method def create Kanban card object. Now, what we pass through. Just wondering if we do need scheduled object in here. I'm just having a quick look. Yeah, we do need the scheduled object. All right, yeah, definitely. So we'll pass through the scheduled object. I don't think we'll need the string because we know it's going to be a Kanban card. As for the template, we'll need the template. So I'm just going to copy those. I'm going to remove this string. Oops, sucks. Oh, you're over here now. You know, people pay good money to see you. There we go. By the way, Cam is still on a cat bed. Yep, yeah, there we go. She's like, gets up, she walks over here. She's like, all right, cool, I got fed. I'm done now. Can you stop stream? All right, object string we no longer need. We know it's going to be a Kanban card. Add code. What I'm going to do is I'm going to... I don't know why every now and then I right-hand click, it actually closes stuff. And I'm just like, no, that's not what I wanted. Drives me nuts. All right, so in here, what we want to do is we won't need to get the object dictionary. At least I'm sure we don't. Famous last words, but we'll find out in a minute. We don't need to do the task, the start date or end date. That's perfectly fine. The start time, end time, no. End date, no. Organization instance, no. We don't need to do that. The status we do. So the status will equal the Kanban card. This will actually be, and Socks has just run off. All right. List of Kanban card statuses. Dot objects, dot filter is deleted equals false. And then what we want to do is we want to order by, this will actually be ordered by, we don't need the F statement at all. This will be the Kanban card status sort order. Sweet, easy done. And then we just grab the first. All right, so we've got the status. We do need to import this. That's just me going boop, and oh, don't we actually? It's a Kanban card. Ooh, ad break. All right. Really? So soon? What's the time? Oh, it's 9:15. All right, welcome back, everyone. Okay, cool. I'm trying to remember the status. Oh, it's set in stone. All right, cool. No, it's going to be normal. We don't need to worry about the status at all, because it'll come through as just normal. We're treating it like how you create new Kanban cards, default normal. So yeah. All right. Yeah, I can't wait till this is actually all over into the API. Because I can get all the data, I can fetch it, I can send it, anything that's relevant. I'll be like, all right, here it is. You don't need to do extra requests. We did all the work here. So, yeah. Getting there though. Getting there. I'm hoping to start 032 very shortly, in parallel with 031 to clean, wrap up and stuff like that. I'm thinking of redesigning a few things and also researching how to implement a few changes and stuff like that. So that will be started soon. We're pretty much almost finished with the wrap up. All right, so we don't need the status. We're just going to remove that. That's perfectly fine. Now we've got the submit object equals Kanban card.object. We don't need any of that. We need Kanban card. We just need to open it up. We need to set the change user equals, yep, by default. The creation user is going to be like that by default. Yep. We don't need to do a lot of this at all because we know what's going to be in there. So we need Kanban card. This is where I need to look up the models. This is another thing which I am going to look so much forward to, a generic naming database. So Kanban card text equals, and then we're going to figure out what that's going to be. That would be the template object JSON, that one. All right, cool. What I can do is I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's just copy those 6. Let's go over here. Let's just paste those in. Let's delete that. Let's bump that up. So we'll need the title, description, organization, start date, end date, and the status. So that will then become Kanban card text equals that. And then we'll need the Kanban card description, I think it is. I'm going to double check that in a second. Yep, card description. We'll need the levels and stuff too. So that will be Kanban board ID will equal the template dot object template JSON. That's not the organization. That will be the Kanban card setup, followed by the Kanban board. Just going to copy those just because I can just do it like column level. All right, cool. So we're happy with that. Now the Kanban card priority. That gets it set by default, so we don't need to worry about that. We don't need to worry about project task or anything like that. Requirement item is archived. Date created, date modified is automatically set. The change user is automatically set. Is deleted. Boolean field. All right, cool. All right. So, what I want to do is I definitely want to import this. And that's it. All right, we do have an error on this page somewhere. Oh yeah, it's just because we haven't done the self.create Kanban card object. We're going to fill that out. The AI clearly didn't read my code. So yeah, we send through the template, which is what we want. Yeah, all right, cool. And that's it. Okay, now we just got to test. So I'm going to deactivate all of them, except for one of them. And we are going to try and run it over and over and over again until we finally get this working. So I'm going to put a breakpoint there. We are going to go into the My Planner. No, sorry, they're scheduled objects. We're going to actually turn off all of these. I've already lost place of where I am, but that's not a problem. Currently active. All right. Oh. We have a bug. No, we're going to fix this bug first. I'm going to move that off to the left. What actually happened? I'm just going to hit update scheduled object. So we're going to hit this. We've got a bad request. We have a look at the response. Yeah, they're not required. This is a task. So we're going to have a look at the form. As you see, oh, I was meant to actually hit just that. We're hitting this. So the object type so that should be hitting that. And if I have a look at the types themselves, required false, and required false. All right, I'm just going to hit play. Huh. Just going to get rid of that. Don't know why I keep hitting refresh, but I just do. So we're on here. We're sending through the post and all that kind of stuff. We don't have any information with the Kanban boards. They're all zeroed out. I think I know what's happening here. It's because they're zeroed out. So what the system is doing is it's like, hey, 0 ain't going to work here. Your show. once again, this is going to be so much easier when we deal with this with the API, with serializers and all that kind of fun stuff, because we can actually, you know, change this. So it's failing on the query set, which is defined behavior, and we want to keep it like that. So in this sort of case, what we can do is we can edit the front end to not send this data to the back end. I'm going to opt for that. That's going to be a lot cleaner and a lot easier for us to actually handle that. So we'll go back to the source. We'll go back to the JavaScript. We're going to go back to the components. We are going to go into both the object scheduler, the new object scheduler, and the scheduled object information. And what we're going to do is we're scrolling all the way down to where we submit stuff. So update scheduled object. All right, sweet. So here we are, and then down here we've got these here. So what I can do is I can go if this .kanban board model does not equal 0. In theory, that should be a integer. We do double check that in multiple places, and that should be, oops. I don't know why I keep pressing random buttons. It'll be like that, and then we'll do something like that, and then we'll just do something like that, and then we'll just paste it in, and we'll do something like that. Now, the other thing we could potentially do is check for the types and all that kind of fun stuff. In which case it will be a lot stronger to do, because Kanban for, sorry, not Kanban board, it will be object type model, and we want it to equal 2. If the type is of Kanban card, send the Kanban card setup information. So yes. So yeah, it's just, it failed the cleaning. That's all. So we also need to do that for this one too. If we go down here, it'll be the exact same code. So it'll be, in fact, just delete that. What we'll do, 1, 2, 3, 6. There'll be, oh, let's go 7. All right, cool. So that's the exact same code. We're going to wait just a fraction of a second. I'm going to hit refresh. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to hit save. There we go. That is now working hunky-dory. So yeah, we've just got to test all of this. When we do the database redesign, we'll actually have a look at properly how this functionality works and how we can actually improve it. Design it a little bit better. Alright, sorry, I'm just turning off all of these. In fact, I could just do this in the database. It's going to be 10 times easier in the database. So I am going to delete all of these. That's not going to be a problem. So actually, let's soft delete them. Update. This would be NearBeach object. Oh, these are the templates. This will be scheduled object. Set is deleted equals true. Where what is one? It's gonna complain. It's like, you shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, I know. I don't care. We'll just do that. Because yeah, we should be filtering out any deleted ones in here. Full stop. I'm just double checking that. In fact, I'm scrolling. Oh, on the run scheduler. We should scroll all the way up. So run scheduler, objects equals none.
Union, run day of the week, run the, all right, cool. Yeah, we're double checking. So if I hit refresh, this should now show nothing. Great, cool. We're gonna make a Kanban card. We're gonna go Kanban card, creation, smiley face, automatic card, creation, smiley face. We're going to, yeah, set day of the week. We're just gonna put them all on. Yeah, that's it. So, the trick to get this to work is we're going to exit out of this. We're gonna go Python 3, manage. I'm gonna go help because I forget I think it's command. Maybe not. I think maybe it is literally just me typing in run schedule. I've absolutely forgotten how this actually runs. Run scheduler. All right, that's it. Don't know if that ran. So I'm going to put a breakpoint there. Probably not. All right. Oh, NearBeach. Here it is. Run scheduler. All right. Cool. Oh, I didn't hit that little breakpoint. Oh, that's really disappointing. Should have hit that breakpoint. Then again, we really didn't see if it created anything. So I'm just going to go into the list of objects. I'm going to go straight into the Kanban board. It didn't. All right. So I'm just gonna, pad out my stuff with print commands just to be like, hey, I did get here. So print got here. All right, we're just gonna do it. I'm gonna risk it, everyone. I'm gonna run schedule. Got there. All right, so happy with that. I'm gonna delete that. And then down here, what we're gonna do is we're going to go print. And we're going to go scheduled objects. Easy done. We're going to make sure that we've got some objects that need scheduling. So we've got nothing. All right, that probably means because the date, we're having a date time issue. So if we go into here, let's select everything from NearBeach scheduled object where is deleted equals false. All right, we're just pulling out everything that we need. So the start date is today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to update NearBeach scheduled objects set start date equals, and we're just going to go 2025. We're going to go 0901, where is deleted equals false. If I can spell, I'm just going to hit play.
All right, let's. Ooh. All right, so we've got scheduled objects and all that kind of stuff. What's it complaining about? Submit object Kanban card. Creation user. Got unexpected keyword arguments. Creation user. Okay. Let's get rid of these breakpoints. Let's scroll all the way down. It's saying creation user doesn't exist. Once again, this is a one of the things that we will clean up with the NearBeach database when we redo it. Yeah. All right, waiting a little while. Let's rerun stuff. Database utils, integrity error, not null constant, Kanban card sort number. Ooh. All right. That's a good point. We've got to fill that out. So we have actually missed one thing in here. We've probably actually missed a couple of things, and this is why we test. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go over here, and we're going to go, and we're going to flat pack variables. We're going to do that. And then what we want to do is we'll need these variables here. 1, 2, 3. And then all we can do, Kanban board ID, Kanban column ID, Kanban level ID. We'll just put them in there. The other thing we want to do is we want to get the maximum, get the max sort number from there. So what we want to do is we're going to do this in over here first. So I'm just going to go back into Python 3, manage shell. In here, what we're going to do is from NearBeach.models import. And this is importing everything because we're lazy. We're going to go A equals. This is where we want Kanban cards dot objects dot filter. This is where we want the Kanban board ID equals 1, the Kanban column ID equals 1, and the Kanban level ID equals 1. Now we should see at least one thing in there. From there, what we need to do is we need to... And Ivan the Raging Python, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So what we want to do is we want to get the max value out of here. So we also need to import from Django.database. Oh, I forgot where that is stored. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Django max, Django ORM max. Where is it? Django DB models. Import max. So from Django DB models import max. With the capital. I'm just going to clear all that history. No one needs to know. So we've still got our A, and what we want to do is annotate. We'll have max in there equals max, and then we'll have the Kanban card sort number. Double checking. I'm just going to go back to my model definitions. Card description, Kanban card sort number. Did I... There we go. All right. Yeah, I've just screwed up a little, but that's not a problem. So let's just working this out here. So with the B, we've got this now. So we should go B dot max. No. B dot first. Dot max. No, hang on. This is where I always struggle with how this likes this. All right, cool. So it's gonna be like that. Now, if there's nothing in there, which we need to actually program for, it'll be 0 by default. Otherwise, we'll get this number and add 1 to it, like that. So, going back into the code, what we need to do is we need to set up the sort information. So we're going to go sort array equals. I just realized I just turned up the music on my headphones way too loud then. Sort array equals Kanban card.objects.filter. We want is deleted equals false. What we want is Kanban board equals that, column ID is that, and that equals that. So we're getting everything within that particular cell. Then we're going to go annotate, and then we're going to go max equals max, and then we're keying in the Kanban sort number, and that's all we need. And then we just got the values, max, all we need. Then what we want is the Kanban card sort number equals the sort array dot first dot is get max work? Will that work? Hang on. B dot first dot get max. Alright, that works. If sort array, the length of sort array is greater than 0, else it will be, we're going to return 0. Now in here, we're going to plus 1 to that. We do need to import the max stuff in here. So 182, we're going to go up here. We're going to go that 182. There we go. So get the letter of the. All right, cool. In here, what we want to do is if there is data, we want the max result plus 1, else default to 0. All right, cool. So it's going to be the sort array first dot get max plus 1 if the length of the sort array is greater than 0, so we have data. Otherwise, we're going to go smack bang straight into 0. Now, if I do something like, let's do C equals Kanban card dot objects dot filter. Let's do is deleted equals true. We shouldn't get too much data, and if I go C dot first, we should fail. Oh, we don't fail. But we do for that. Yeah, we get a none type. So we could down here. I think that check is a lot better. Okay, cool. And then we just got to add that in here. So Kanban card sort number equals Kanban card sort number. Easy done. It's an integer. It goes slamming in there like there's no tomorrow. We're just going to actually, I'm going to open up another tab. We're going to have multiple tabs. We're just going to go source VM activate. There we go. We're going to go Python 3 manage. We're just going to type in help because hey, here it is. NearBeach. We need to run scheduler. All right, cool. We're on an ad break at the moment. Alright. I'm just making noises. Because I ran in and I got a weird sort of thing, and I'm like, let's have a look at that next. Because we shouldn't have that weird sort of detail. Alright. Yeah, hopefully everyone's... I dropped my pen. Hopefully everyone's going well. Can't even pick up my pen. Alright, we've got about 45 seconds left of the ad. And then, do we have warnings? Heads up, we detected audio in your stream belonging to someone else. Ooh, alright. That means I am going to forward this song. Alright. That should fix that. But these songs should be fine. Alright, cool. Anyway, we should be back any second now. Welcome back. Alright, so Kanban level ID expected a number but got that. So let's have a look at the database. We got the scheduled object, and we don't need the update or anything like that. That's perfectly fine. We actually might need the update. Because we've got to handle the last time it was run. Alright, that's not a problem. That's a bit of code. Alright. What I want to do is I want to select everything from NearBeach object template, where the object, the scheduled, I'm just going to go web 1 equals 1 for the moment because, yeah, I'm going to run that one. That should be object template type ID, object template ID, be the bottom one. It's going to copy this. What I'm going to have a look at is, so I've got the object type that, I've got all of that. That should be coming through. I'm just going to copy that. We're going to play around with this in here. So I'm going to go A equals, and we're just going to paste it in. It didn't like that, did it? Trace back the console. Error, name null is not defined. All right, there's probably something wrong in there. I'm just going to remove that. What I want to do is set up an object. Let's say it's like that. If I do something like card. All right, cool. And then let's expand that. And then we'll go info 2. And then if I go A, there we go. And if I go A, card, info, we should do something like that. So something like that isn't working here. Also, I should actually cut that out. Sorry, before I forget to do certain things. God, just you saw me on the previous line. There we go. That's repeats. All right. Create base object. Yep. Create Kanban card object. It goes through here. It's complaining that the Kanban level ID expected a number but got that. All right. So template object, Kanban card setup, Kanban board ID. So it's a level it's complaining about.
as the first one. If I go into here, yeah, it should be like that. Kanban card setup. All right, what I'm going to do, we're going to fail this a couple of times, but that's perfectly fine. What I'm is I like to do this sometimes. And then in the middle, we're going to have our little template.object, template JSON. We're going to set it up like that. And we're going to refine this process over a couple of processes. So I'm just going to hit this, it's going to hit that. We're going to scroll up until we see this empty space. So we can see Kanban card set up from here. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to add this in, and we've got Kanban card set up. Cool. We're going to go back over here. We're going to hit the reschedule. We know it's going to fail. And there we go. We've got something like this. And then if I do Kanban level, and redo this again, we've got a 1. Okay. I don't know where we've got this. Type error field, Kanban level ID. If I go through all of this on line 71, that's way too soon. Run schedule line 200. So it fails here. So it's saying something's wrong with the level there. But it doesn't have a problem before that. All right, not a problem. What we're going to do, we're going to get rid of that one line there. We're going to scroll down here just before the 200. I'm going to print, we're going to do an F string once again. We're going to go Kanban level ID, and yeah, we're just going to go Kanban level ID right in there. Let's see what happens. So we're still getting the error, but yeah. Where is that actually happening? So I'm going to copy that one line a couple of times. I'm just going to paste it up here. I'm going to paste it after here because this one didn't complain about any Kanban level ID. We've got the sort number, we've got all of that. We've got the Kanban level ID. I mean, yeah, what's... Scroll up. Yeah, all right. We have a problem. If I type in int, it's gonna have a problem, isn't it? Yeah, I had a problem right away. Not a tuple. So why is it pulling out a tuple? I'm gonna copy this. Figured it out. All right. It's bloody commas at the end of the thing. That's gonna be a couple of times. Do I have another print statement somewhere? I'm about 30% sure I do. Yes, I do. So now that we know this is actually running and stuff like that, we've just hit that. It's just run. We should actually have another one in here. All right, cool. I'm going to do another test in here. We should have 2 Kanban cards in here. Ooh, it didn't create the second one.
Because I've already run it. It sets the scheduler, so we don't need to run it again. All right, cool. What I need to do to get rid of that is do an update statement for the last run. So the last run is, we're going to set that to none. So update NearBeach. This would be scheduled objects. Set last run equals to null. Where is deleted equals false. Easy done. We're just gonna just bump all of that. That takes me a couple of seconds. We're going to hit this again. Now there is a problem. Usually with these cards, they should be unique named and so forth like that. This is bypassing this, and we can actually have the same name on there twice, which is not what we want. So what we could potentially do is add in a date time stamp. But we've also got to make sure that the Kanban card isn't too long. The other thing we could also implement is a count. But also at the same time, these are sort of scheduled cards and stuff like that. It should, yeah. I don't want to fail silently. But yeah, we should get at least the date, slap it at the end. Or at the start and trim it. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to double check one thing. The Kanban text has a large at the max length as 255. So when we do this, we need to check to make sure the name is unique. Otherwise, place date at the end of the title. So in here is, if we have Kanban card.objects.filter is deleted equals false, and then the Kanban board ID will be that, and then the Kanban card text equals the Kanban card text, which I haven't done yet. So what I'll do is I'll delete that from there. We'll flat pack it up here, easy done, and then we'll go Kanban card text, yeah, got text there. Yep, we're happy with that. So in here, so existing title is the length of all of this is greater than 0. So if existing title, we need to go Kanban card text equals,
And this is where I'm going to go up and reference a little bit of code up here. So schedule last run, date time to today. There's probably a better way of doing that. And I just want to do something very, very quickly. I was nowhere near the F1. Just going to bump over into here. I'm going to import date time. I'm just going to go, we're just going to clear everything. A equals date time dot date dot today. We should get something like that. And if I put that into a string, we get something like that, and I like that. Easy, done. That's how we're going to tackle this problem. Now, what happens if we've got, let's say, b equals, and we want to trim it? We would go b dot slice 0 to 255, 0 dot to, let's say 10. Well, slice isn't a thing. Starts a 0, end, and step by 1. All right, yep. All right, so in this sort of case, what we want to do is it's an existing title. We want to go Kanban card text equals Kanban card text, and what we need to do is in here, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus 1, 11. 11 off 255. So, and that will be 0 to 255. It is 244. I'm not going to worry about the date time. I'm just worrying about the slicing. If the length of Kanban card text is greater than 244 and then like that. So that's just grabbing enough characters at the end for us to slap in the date time. And then what we want to do is Kanban card text is, we'll get the today equals date time dot date dot today, and then we'll have Kanban card text equals Kanban card text plus space. We're just actually doing that right now, and then we'll put in today. In fact, we'll go date time dot date dot today like that, all in one little line, and that's pretty much it. I don't know why it's complaining about this. Oh, that's fine, that's an F string. Yeah, that should work. That should be like B equals B plus F string. Date time dot date dot today. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah, I don't know why my AD is complaining about that. So yeah, that will just update the, or handle the title, which is what we want.
And then if there is any data we want to max results, yep. So that's just sort array equals sort array. Oh, if I've put this, I'm going to move this. So we're going to cut that out. We're going to go down here. We're just going to paste that in. Easy done. Cool. All right. Yeah. All right, so I'm happy with this. That should work perfectly fine. I'm just having a quick think. I want to test one thing. I'm just adding in a bunch of characters. I'm just maxing this out. Alright, cool. It's just the same repetitive sort of stuff. If I go length A, we've got 3,000 and so forth like that. So what I want to do is I want to see if the length does stuff correctly. So I'm going to go A equals A 0 to, it was 244. So if I go length A, it should be 244, easy done. And then if I go A equals A plus F string with the space, and then I go date time dot date dot today in there, I go length A 255 as the max values. All right, cool. Happy with that. That is going to work. And yeah, that only happens if there's an existing title in there. And we can test that right now, in fact. So if I go back to here, I'm just going to run all of that. That's fine. If we want to go back into here, we're going to run the scheduler again. It takes a few seconds. We're going to go back into the Kanban board. We should refresh and we should see... Oh, our sort order got mucked up and the creation date is not correct. Something's wrong. Okay. I'm just going to archive that card. I'm going to go yes. Oh, and I should go is archived equals false in there also. All right. Something's gone wrong with this. It's that, yep, that's the comma at the end. It strikes again. All right, let's just do that. Let's clear that up. Let's go back into here. We're going to hit refresh. Oh, we didn't actually run this. We're going to run that first. We're going to go back into here. We're going to hit refresh. We're going to go back into here. We're going to hit refresh again. And there we go. It's got the date. Perfect. So the idea is from now, it's just going to continue adding on the date now. The scheduler won't run multiple times a day. And yes, a person can come in and put in, they can have the name and then today's date and all that kind of fun stuff. it will create a duplicate ticket because we're not rechecking the name and all that kind of stuff. We're assuming that people won't do that. It's a rare case that were to happen. So yeah, I think that is pretty much done now. So the rest of the scheduler should work. We haven't changed that code. It was only this Kanban card stuff that we've actually implemented. All right, I am going to say, let's actually go over here. Let's kill that. Let's go remove static. Let's go git status. Let's see what we've actually changed. We've actually changed quite a lot in here. So we did change the run object scheduler. We did change those sources to add stuff in. I'm just going to go git add, git commit. And what we're going to do is implement final implementation. We're just going to go git push. I'm going to handle that right now. Yeah, let's go straight into GitHub. We're going to go NearBeach. I was meant to do a compare and pull, so we're going to do a compare and pull. We're definitely not going to go into main. We're going straight into develop. The reason being is we're testing the develop branch at the moment. This will mean that we've got to rebuild. Yeah, we've got to rebuild everything. Alright, I might as well do that right now. Give me 2 seconds. npm run prod. We're just making sure everything's built up. We're definitely not going to release this tonight because it needs more testing. It needs that shakeout testing. We don't actually have any unit tests around this, which is annoying. But something we could potentially do. All right, cool. So it's done all of that. 2 warnings. Yep, yep. We know about those warnings. Git status, git add, git commit, compiled, static files. Easy done. We're going to git push. The reason why I'm doing this is so when I do all the pull requests back into the develop branch, I don't need to worry about building develop branch over and over and over again because I am making the assumption that it is all built. All right, so definitely not into main, into develop. This is implement new feature. Implementation of the scheduled card. Cool, yeah. All right. Create pull request. Oh, another thing I should do is I'm going to check Circle CI just in case I'm breaking anything. Okay, we're going to go into our pipelines. Oh, and we've just hit an ad break. All right, cool. It'll be our last ad break for the evening. Yeah, after I get this all merged in and stuff like that, we'll I'll probably call end of the stream. But yeah, no, we've gone far. Yeah. Okay. About 45 seconds left for the ads. Yeah, so once this is done, there is, what else is there left to do? Sorry, as I just try and think. We've still got the shakeout testing. That's the big one left. We've got a bit of research to do. However, that is mostly off stream and stuff like that. And it deals with what we want to do moving forward. Whether I apply it to 0.31 or not is up in the air at the moment. For example, the fuzzy testing is up in the air, whether or not that's getting deployed in 31. Otherwise, yeah, I'll have a quick look at what is left to be done. We've got the code coverage. That is 3 more node points that need to be done. That, if I've got time on the weekend, I'll probably just do those. And then there's 4 bug fixes. And yeah, I'll go through the list in a minute. All right, cool. I believe these will run. So as they're running, I'm just going to create this pull request. If I, so I'm just going back to my pipelines. That one's the scheduled card, branch, that's push commit, front end complete, final implementation, compiled static files. Yeah, it's this one we're just worried about. I don't think it's gonna break. Famous last words. Now this one will need to squash and merge. I'm just going to go squash and merge. What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of all of that. Implementation of the schedule Kanban card functionality. I'm going to assume all of that will run perfectly fine. I'm just not in the mood to wait for it. All right, and then we're going to delete that branch. And then on my local, I'm going to go git pull. We should be using the flow still in this. I don't know why I've stopped using it as much. Git checkout, develop, git pull, Python 3, manage test. I'm running a quick test in here. Oh, source, activate, Python 3, manage test. This is the song that sets me off because of that noise. That one's done. All right, the front end. Let's double check the front end. npm run unit test. No, it's yeah, it's unit test. It takes a lot quicker on my computer. All right, let's go NearBeach. Let's go to the blogs. For those wanting to know, in case you're interested, what's left of the wrap up. So I'm going to move the scheduler on to completed. We can in fact do that right now. Let me just log in to nearbeach.org. I'll bring that one down. So I'm going to go up here. We're going to go into blogs, scroll all the way down to the bottom, click on the bottom one. We are going to open up the wrong one. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. No, rich text. Sorry, you guys can't actually see that. Let me bump that off. So down here, completed. Is that section? Yeah, section header. And then what we're going to do there we go. I'm going to move that down because that is something I want to actually start. I'm hoping to, if I've got time this weekend, complete it this weekend. But yeah, everything's wrapping up pretty quickly. I'm I mentioned this before, there will be overlap with 0.31 and 0.32 because 0.32 requires quite a lot of research and stuff like that, so we might start that sooner and then continue on with bug testing, bug fixes and stuff like that. So there will be a time where we're doing both, and then once we're happy with 0.31, we'll feature freeze it and say, all right, cool, there's no more features, we'll fix the bugs when they come through. We're now working on 0.32 and we'll branch out 0.32 onto its own branch, and yeah, it'll be scary. So yeah. Anyway, I am going to reload this, so we should actually see all of that. So we've got the completed. Oh, there's a space. Oh no, that'll be fine. We've got the completed, which we're happy with. We'll move. Yeah, that one we'll move on hopefully quickly. That one I'll need to follow up with. And yeah. All right, let's find someone to raid. Sorry, I've just got the browse up at the moment. Alright, keep on. Alright, we've got actually a few good people tonight. Alright. I don't know who to choose. So yeah. All right, let's do keybind. I'm just making sure the ad is finished. They are working on their DevOps software architecture engineering consultant. No, they're working on what looks like a game or something like that tonight. So yeah, I'm just going to bring that down. There we go. We've got ads. I know they suck. We'll hit the raid and we'll go on raiding through. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for being here tonight. It has been wonderful. We got a lot done. And yeah, let's see what Keybind is working on. I will unmute them. I'll mute my music and I'll hit the raid button. All right, thank you very much, everyone. For those on YouTube, sadly you won't be able to join us with the stream, but I do hope to see you next time. Don't forget to